Hello, singers! Welcome back for another Singer Spotlight. I'm your vocal coach, Jamie Bandera, and today we got an amazing singer, good friend of mine, good friend of Bendy's, named Risto Tuominen. Hopefully I said that right. Woo! Luckily we made it. We're 15 minutes late. There was a little bit of technical difficulties, but you'll have that in internet land. So, Risto, I want to know about you. Tell me your story. I want to know how you got into music, how old you are, or what you're into singing. Just give me the lowdown on who you are.
Um, my brother had a guitar, and when I was about 7, I sneaked in his room and secretly played his guitar, and he played Iron Maiden. I love Iron Maiden, and he always said that don't play that guitar, but I think he does that psychology thing that they know that needs this. And I don't remember what you asked. I'm 38 years old now. I've been playing now almost 25, 27 years.
And so you play guitar, and what made you go into singing?
Uh, there's no one else to sing in my band, and I wanted to sing. And I wasn't happy enough. Some people when I don't sing so well. I don't think that I sing so well, but at least I know what I want, and I sing. But I sang quite wrong many years. I started to have headaches and my neck's how to say.
Probably like a muscle spasms or tension?
I didn't relax enough, and then I've been starting 2 years ago. I started to do something that helps, and then I found your book.
Cool, cool. Now, I got to know, though, with the headaches and the neck tension, are you saying it was singing related or just physically in general you started getting headaches and neck tension?
I think it was my guitar strap, and then and also I sang wrong.
Well, I know how to solve that. You just put down the guitar and become a lead vocalist. So, okay, so you found the book. Did you find, I'm kind of jumping ahead of the ball game, but since you mentioned the book, I got to know, you're playing guitar, you were singing, having some headaches, some neck tension. Did you find things in Raise Your Voice that kind of helped you to start alleviating that, or what really unfolded when you got Raise Your Voice?
Uh, yeah, I found there's so many good advices in your book, and of course, I know how to relax my muscles. I'm teaching, how to say, I've been teaching Taekwondo, and I've been practicing quite much. And yes, I'm also able. But, but when it came to singing, I didn't know anything. And from your book, that first of course, I took the last page and looked at how you sing better. No, but then I started again and started with those how to breath correctly, and it helped. That helped me a lot. First of all, I don't know, but I have to generally like focus. I don't remember what did you ask?
I was just wondering if it helped to start alleviating like the stress in your neck. I mean, were you doing vocal stress release? Of
Yeah,
course, you said you're already into martial arts, so some of that would come into play as well.
yeah, yeah, it helps a lot. But still, now it's easier to play and sing together, uh, but I have to do those vocal stress release that, that I can sing.
Well, but everybody's different. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
some people I know a rock star student of mine. I won't say who it is, so and it's not James LeBrie, but he spends about 45 minutes on vocal stress release. He says he really has, sometimes even longer. He says he really has to work the muscles out before he gets to stage, the way that he screams and sings. So for me, it may take 10 minutes. Someone else, it may take 50 minutes. So that's fine. So Risto, before Raise Your Voice, did you have any vocal lessons? Have you studied voice?
Uh, no, first I bought your book and then I found went to vocal coach something his opera singer and of course I'm not so good in English and it takes time to me to read your book and translate to me all those things but she helped me to understand it quite little basics and then it was easier to continue to read that book and I went 5 or 6 times, not so much, but then she said that, that now now you can do your own something.
Yeah, absolutely. I like coaches like
That's
it. You don't. Go ahead.
yeah, but really I'm not now I have family and things. I'm not so in this practice those things. I do all those cartooning things and novel, but I haven't I haven't done all those sirens and things. I like to do that part. What you do that super
Yep.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that helped. I think that helped me that breathing thing also. Because I didn't get it first of all. And all those. Yes.
Well, a lot of people, they even lifelong singers I've worked with, just don't get the breathing. A lot of coaches say it just happens. Well, yeah, it is a natural act. It does happen, but there are things that we can do to funnel a minute amount of breath and make this tiny bit of breath much better than a big blast of breath. So you can. I mean, I'm assuming once you start understanding the breathing, even your high notes became easier, less strain, things like that. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes. I, uh, now I have gained those notes back what I have lost. Uh, I've noticed that I have been doing like Bon Jovi's Living on Bread so many times and sang that, but I noticed when I sang wrongly, I have to drop all the time. And mostly it was bad monitoring system, but mostly it was my technique. And I didn't know what to do. I thought that I had to yell. And when
Cool,
I
cool.
read and play your book, and now I get back and a little bit more. I don't wanna. I don't think I want to think so high. I just want to be that I can sing fluent music. That's my best. Uh,
Gotcha, gotcha. So, Risto, tell me about. Are you in a band right now?
what?
Are you in a band like right now? Are you playing a
Yes.
band?
Uh, I play in lots of different kind of bands. Now it's cover bands, mostly guitar and backing vocals. I think, but I have that's my my project band, of course. We have been done my songs and this is also cool thing because I found two amazing guys from your when I started with your book and I don't know how it is Us Rock and Esther Martinez who's the white singer and also it helped me with the lyrics and this is mainly this with the nation band now and we had, we don't done any gigs exist project band.
But at least you have your own project band. The main thing. So
Yeah,
when you do start doing gigs with that band and put out some songs, of course, email me. Of course, we're in contact anyway, so that I can add anything to your Singer Spotlight page. Because I want people to hear you sing. I've heard you sing. You're really good. So people need to hear it. So, uh,
yeah, but,
so
yeah. I, I tried to sing another pretty song for you, but every time it's so late, I get it from home, and then I have the minimum amount of time to do that. So I have to put my kids to bed and try to sing. Then I can sing when they are bed.
feeling, man.
I have to.
Yeah, no, I got a grandson now, but so we watch him a lot. But and you lose those hours and you're working and stuff. But I find myself like if I'm on the treadmill, I'll be vocalizing, maybe very tiny, so I don't wake anyone up. Or if I'm in a car, anytime I get in the car, if I go to the grocery store, taking a trip, I'm by myself, I'm singing, I'm doing sirens, I'm doing transcending tones, always trying to fit something in there, just to build a better voice. So um, I got to know when you step up to the mic and you're more of a front man, not just doing your the backing vocals and the guitar. How do you feel? Are you comfortable or do you have stage fright?
No, that's that's frightening. I don't have stage fright.
Good.
It feels so natural to me.
Well, let me rephrase it.
This doesn't feel so natural, but
Are you excited when you get on stage? Because here's
yeah,
the thing.
yes.
Here's the thing. Believe it or not, Risto, it's not really nervousness, stage fright, but it's that same energy, like I talk
Yeah.
about in the book. So that's good. You've mastered it and you flipped the switch. Me, I'm still nervous every time I do a TV show, but as soon as I'm on stage, switch flips. Bam, I'm in the zone. You have been able to take it to the next level. You don't have stage fright. You've already funneled that nervous energy, that excited energy into a powerful performance. So it makes me float in the zone. I'm hoping it does it for you too. So, well, can you give me a tip? How is it that you don't have stage fright? How is it that you feel positive and excited? If someone came up to you, some kid, loved your voice, loved your guitar playing, and said, Risto, I'm nervous every time I go on stage. What would you tell them to help them get over that nervousness?
And I know I can say bad words, but I mean, uh, I maybe say that don't worry what they think. Just if they don't like you, they're not worth it. Because, uh, it's, I mean, always be yourself and don't try to be anybody else. I don't know how to say it.
Well, no, that's good because a lot of singers, they're so worried about what everybody in the audience thinks that they forget why they're even up on stage. They forget they're up there because they love it, they want to have fun, and they try to please the audience instead of starting with pleasing yourself. So, I totally understand. So, when you do your gigs, all your different bands, not the project because I know you're not playing out yet, but the cover bands, what is your warm-up routine before you hit the stage?
Um, Lick bubbles, gardening though, and then I, nowadays I sing songs with that gardening dogs, but I think
Okay.
for me, I want that breathing. It, it, I think it helped me. That big bubbles and nose and with, with my tongue.
Wow. Good.
And what else? Of course, nothing, no scale. Maybe songs and like you said, tiny voice. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Taking all the meat out, just getting those frequencies going.
And maybe thinking about technique in some songs, because when I'm playing guitar, that's the hardest, of course. When I want to play well the guitar, but I don't want to mess my singing also when I'm
Hmm.
if I'm still over, then that's I think I could focus that song how to sing it right, and then I don't have to worry about when I go stage. Sometimes it goes well, and sometimes I put it my voice,
But
and I
at
don't
least
do it as
that
well.
that's a good tip. A lot of the people who do play instruments, they don't think about when they're playing. You do when you're practicing with your band. You really do got to focus on your singing technique, even though you're playing guitar, because it's just two different things. So you're right. The more that you practice in rehearsal, and then when you get to the stage, I don't know if it's like this for you, but you can't really think about technique on stage. You just got to do your thing. I mean, there are times you
Uh,
may get a little strainy, and you got to think, oh, I need to bear down a little more. But overall, you can't be focused on technique. You got to be focused on the art form.
I've noticed that when I started to practice with your methods or with your books, and I wrote the first gigs. I, I did, of course. Then I was nervous with my voice because I was thinking I had to drink lots of water, of course, and of course then my throat gets so dry, and then I went into stage the first time when I and then of course I can play my guitar, my eyes shut, but I had, first time I did all those techniques, and that was hard, and then it goes down to perfect with my singing.
But it has gotten easier since then, correct?
Yeah, now it's way easier than it was.
Yeah, I think we expect too much out of ourselves, especially that first gig as a singer. And you hit the nail on the head. Your throat will get dry. It'll start feeling achy. You can't get enough water in you, and that's just nerves because you have these high expectations. Like you got to sing like the most amazing rock star ever. You're afraid to make a mistake. Um, but and it may be rough. It may be rough that first gig or two. You know, hard. You like you said, you start thinking about technique. It makes it hard, but then you realize it wasn't so scary, and it becomes easier and easier the more that you do it. So, how often do you play out, Risto?
Uh, about I have about 4 gigs in months, sometimes less, sometimes more,
Oh,
but that's the 4 is maybe too much because I have to be with my family, and
yeah, yeah,
I'm
I know.
working. I have daytime job also, so but,
Well, that's how my wife is. So I'm getting ready to go to Poland. She's like, it's gonna be rough here with the dogs. Luckily my job, I get to work in my house. I got my studio in my basement, so it does make it easier. But when I used to work construction, yeah, it was hard. You come home, you got a wife, you got children, but you don't. You got to remember this too. And I understand you got to balance, and you're having fun. You keep doing it, you make a little money. But even with your singing practice, you don't have to find the time. You got to make the time. So whatever it's got to be, Risto, whether it's only 10 minutes in the car on the way home from work or whatever, just work it into your life, and then do the gigs as everything works out for you and the family. That's important for a lot of people who are watching this who are going through the same thing, and I hear a lot of singers saying that. Ah, man, I wish I could play out more, but I got wife and children. You do have responsibilities, but enjoy life. Don't kill yourself, but find a happy balance. Let me. What do you do to keep your voice healthy? You've been reading Raise Your Voice. Have you changed anything? Or are you taking any herbs, vitamins, more water, diet differences?
maybe more water. That's but nothing much. But first, I changed quite a lot, and that was maybe too much at the same time or something. Because I was thinking too much, worrying about that voice, and before that first gig, I noticed okay, I have to drink lots of water, warm water, and maybe some honey and whatever I came up with vitamin C and zinc and all those stuff. And then I think when I was nervous about those things, I had to do those, so my voice is healthy, and it goes first, and maybe I was stressing too much, and so there's against me, against me. Nowadays, I just drink water, don't drink coffee when I have to sing before that it's good, and no alcohol.
Yep,
It was,
most definitely dry out.
there was a time when it was cool, but now I'm grown up, so I don't think when I'm going to do gigs, it's also a job and I have to do it well, and I don't want to be remembered as well.
Yeah, I've been there. I remember when it was cool. I'd smoke and drink, do a gig. Sounds horrible, but you think you sound amazing because you're so messed up. But then eventually in life you realize, even the older rock stars that used to party in the 70s and 80s, even in the 90s, they're realizing now, hey, you can't do this. You can't do this. So I do want to step back. I want to ask you. You found Raise Your Voice a couple years ago. How did you find out about me?
I've been searching from, of course, YouTube is first thing. I was uh, checking all those. There was so many voice teacher in YouTube, and I've been watching almost everything. And, but and just, I don't know. It wasn't because I didn't know how to choose the right one. I just I was fond of your star. I don't know. And then I've been searching a bit more, and I found your book, and I bought it, and then when I get the book and I get access to your forums, and I, I've been thinking, wow, this is cool. Just something like that.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you found me.
Yeah.
Because even when I wrote the book, I wanted it to be more. You know, there are $200 programs out there with the videos and everything, but even with Raise Your Voice, and you know you've been in there, there's like 10 hours of audio and video. There's a message board. So I just wanted to make sure people had what they needed and they didn't have to do that. Of course, we got the bigger program, the Ultimate Vocal Workout, but Raise Your Voice, I mean, that's the flagship book for what I teach, and you know that's what most people know me by. Of course, the glass shattering, but Raise Your Voice. So I'm definitely glad to help. So Risto, before we end, you're at a gig, and you're rocking out. You're sounding amazing. You're done, and some young singer comes up to you right afterwards and is like, "Hey, I want to be a singer. What advice can you give me?" Off the top of your head, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to do to help, start to push their singing abilities?
My voice teacher. Maybe that. Um, maybe I think if it's young, like 18 or the ones who can get into bar where I play. So I think the voice teacher first, because this is hard to practice, like like this following videos, and like myself, I have to have English dictionary book, so I have to check those out. So first, your own voice teacher with your own language, maybe that helps. But it doesn't matter.
No, absolutely, absolutely. You know what's sad, Risto, is we've both been there. You open your mouth and you sing a song. You mimic your favorite singer. All of a sudden, you're a singer. Now, when you started playing guitar and whoever you were into, you didn't pick it up and you couldn't play the chords. But since we can vocalize, we automatically think that's all you need to do. So that's the downfall of having a human instrument. Is a lot of times we bypass finding a vocal coach, studying to learn the technique to protect your voice so it keeps going and going. So that is the one downfall about being a singer. Most of us overlook that, and I did. I did in the beginning too, and it took some time and some vocal downfalls before I started seeking out vocal guidance. So, Risto, thank you for the interview. Keep me
Thank you.
informed because as your project band puts out music, I want to add them to the description in this video here, so people can find you, especially on your singer spotlight page. Anyone, I'm telling you, you guys got to hear this guy sing. Very good singer. Check out his stuff. We'll keep adding stuff as he releases it. And any last words?
Mm. Thank you. I have to say, this is cool thing to do with your academy and your book, and this is so honored to be interviewed by you. And although I'm just
I don't know if you submitted. I don't know if you submitted or not, but I told Benny. Benny and I both said it, so we got to get Risto on here. You know. So that's awesome.
I'm so embarrassing because I haven't had time to join all your Google Hangouts, and I want to, but it's the time difference, and I have to go working and blah blah blah.
Nah, dude.
I've been watching those all still.
You know, and just so we put this out there for other VBA members, don't feel overwhelmed. It's like I told Benny, I don't feel like I put enough in the weeks in the academy. We got all the hangouts, but it doesn't matter. You go at your own pace, man. You know, you got a wife, kids, you're working. You go in the academy, you can slip in and do a couple videos. That's fine. The main thing I care about is that you're warming up your voice, you're doing some type of exercise just to strengthen it, and you're singing, and you're already doing that. You know, you're playing 4 gigs a month, and you're working on a solo thing. So I'm happy. That's all I care about. So, well, guys, this has been another great interview, another Singer Spotlight with one of our VBA members and Raise Your Voice user, Risto Tuominen. Hope I said that right again, because I messed it up a lot. Love you, Risto. I'm glad you came on board. Don't hang up yet. I'm just going to close this broadcast. But everyone watching, we'll see you in the next Singer Spotlight.